Hey guys, Opal here and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing a little city build, and this is in the Ancients Landing. I really wanted to do a build that was centered around using the railroads, and I thought this was the perfect location. I also wanted to hide the sides of the buildings with these gazebos just to kind of keep the vibe the same, and I didn't want it to look too formal or put together, and that's why I did this. I did leave most of the Sully apartment free, as well as the Oswald movie theatre and the bakery skin, and this is just because well, the bakery skin really fits in with the style of the build, and the movie theatre is kind of just on the side, so I didn't really worry about it. I think it still looks good in the end. I had a lot of fun playing around with the different tracks and seeing what kind of shapes I could make. And yeah, I think doing the circular tracks, it's kind of hard to lay it out. That's why I didn't add it in the start of the video. I kind of just cut it out. But look, this circle shape right here, really fun to make, really fun. I think I'm going to use these a lot more. I think they just add a lot to a build, and I think there's still so much to explore with them. Anyways, now I'm just going with some basic pathings and just connecting all of the buildings. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do this. As you can see, I also placed a lot of items that I think I'm going to use. I did this before the speed build, and I think I'm going to do this from now on because it really helps the speed build not be cluttered with me searching through my inventory. Obviously, I still go and find foliage and things like that every once in a while, but that is a lot better than constantly searching for items. And I think that's also a really good tip. Even though, you might not be making content, it makes the build so much faster. So I used these little fences from Eternity Isle. I think they're craftable. They're called like the red bronze fence or something. I used these in a little build that I did not too long ago on a stream, and it was the barn build, and I made a lot of these fences because I really wanted to test them out properly after doing that build. And yeah, I really love them. I'm a little bit annoyed that you can't drag them, but other than that, they're a really nice style. They're pretty different to other things that we have in the game, and I love that it gives kind of like a rustic feel while also being quite structured. I think it's a really good item for us to use and play around with. Now, I have to warn you, this build is not item limit friendly. If you are thinking about recreating this in your build, and as you can see, those little plants that I just kind of have around these plants here, I used a lot of them. I cut out a lot of the placing because obviously it takes a long time. But yeah, if you are going to recreate this build in your own Switch, skip this part. You don't need it. Bring the fences closer to the path, and yeah, it will look just as good, I think. It will really save you the hassle. I was kind of also set on using those black flower boxes, and I really wanted to use them. I think they're really pretty. They're a little bit hard to fit in builds. I don't even think I use them at all, but I'm really trying to find a build that will suit those perfectly. I did also add in those little bamboo fencing in just a couple areas, and I think they work really nicely with these other fences. My goal is to try and use items that I've never used before, and I'm really lucky to have a lot of the new items from Scrooge's, such as the Mulan fence thing that you see, as well as some other items like those sacks on the ground. I'm not really sure what you call them, but yeah, I have quite a few. Oh, and that Wally bench. So I'm trying to use different items. I'm trying to, you know, mix things together and try out some new ideas instead of doing the same thing that I usually do. But it's honestly been really fun to try out different styles and different items. This little area here I made into a little park, and I really wanted to use the stone pathing, but they didn't line up. So instead I used some of these rocks, and then I just bordered off a little walkway area, and to the sides of these little areas I filled it in with dirt, and then I put just a couple of pieces of foliage to make it look like a planter box. I also know that I've been going on a lot recently about trying new items, trying new styles and things like that, and you're probably wondering why I don't use different foliage. I tend to use the same, like 4 pieces of foliage. I maybe change up, might put butterfly flowers in certain builds and mix and match some different flowers, but it's not really my fault. I mean, Gameloft have given us a very small selection of foliage, and yeah, it's really hard to stick to one type, so I kind of just put every type possible that I think will work. In these areas here under these canopies, I did 2 little market areas, but I did not fill these in. I have been loving streaming and taking my time decorating little corners like this, but I'm not going to do it for the speed build. It will be empty in the final walkthrough, but just imagine I have beautiful stalls set up. I will in the future, I promise. Now this area here, I did this trading stall, and I added 2 tables and that trough. I don't know exactly if it fits, I don't really know why it's there, to be honest, but I think it kind of works, so I left it there. The other random thing that I added was that canoe sign, which I don't looking back, I don't really know what I was thinking, but yeah, oh well. Oh well, it's a little bit of a random corner, but it does look good, so I just lifted it there. I didn't really think too much of it. Unfortunately, I had run out of the stitch chairs that match this table, which made it really awkward because the chairs didn't line up, so I would have loved to use those tables and chairs. I was just really lazy and couldn't be bothered going to Scrooge's, so instead I just swapped it out with these little Corona tables. I think it looks cute anyway. It takes up a little bit less space. And then to finish the area off, I just put a couple bits of foliage. I didn't do too much just because we already have so much foliage around the sides and other parts of the build. For this front area, I obviously did the same thing. Yeah, I just kind of cut it out because I don't think you guys need to see 1,000 little bushes being placed, but there was a little bit of an annoying corner on this well, as you can see there. I think it's the top left hand side, so I just put a little bush there to kind of cover it up. And then there's a little mining node down here, so I just put these little stones as a little pathway, and then I just use these fences. And honestly, this is probably the plainest bit of the build. I didn't want to put foliage back there. I'm not really sure why I could have, but I just kept it super simple. I did add a couple of bits. And then for this back bit, I literally just put a little bit of foliage and some bamboo trees, which are my new current obsession. And I promise next speed build I will not use these. I'll try something different. I'm in my exploring era. I'm exploring new items, new styles. Yeah, in this little bakery area, I did things very similarly than I have been in this whole build. I used these beautiful fences, fenced off the sides. I used that stone pathing, which I think really suits this building. I think it fits really well. I also put a little table out the front, and yeah, I'm looking forward to actually putting lots of decorations on those when I have time. I kept the bakery bit a little bit simple though. I literally just have a table, some lights, a little bit of foliage, but I think it looks good. For the Scrooge area, I honestly, this is kind of pretty simple too. I decided to border off the sides just because I think Scrooge's shop stood out a little bit too much, especially with the sides being kind of open, so I used all this bamboo to cover it. Unfortunately, I covered that mining node, but that's okay. And then I'm pretty sure I just added a little bit of foliage and some tables and chairs. And then for that last little market area next to Remy's house, I just used that as a barrel storage area, which I think looks pretty good. I think it's a really easy way to fill up one of those gazebos. Yeah, I really did keep this area quite simple, just with a couple bits of foliage. I've also been using these like circle planters and placing them in spots where it's not like centered or symmetrical, just like random areas. I think they look quite good. Like, you can really kind of put them anywhere and they look good. Yeah, I also added this little clock tower, which is obviously beautiful. What a great item, probably one of the best items in the game, if I may say so myself. And now it's kind of just finishing touches. I added these mine carts to finish off the railroad look, and added a couple of barrels here and there. This is the final build, and now let's go for the walkthrough. So as you can see, these market here don't have items, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to doing this in the future. I have this little sitting area with lots and lots of foliage as a centerpiece. I honestly love all the shapes of the railroad. I think it's super fun. Here's the little sitting / lost and found / trough / beach thing. I don't know. Look, it kind of works. I don't know what I was doing, but it does kind of work. And then here's a little well area, which I love that it's covered in a little circle of rails. I think it's really cute. And then coming over to this side, this is my favorite area. I have Remy's, a little park area, and the bakery, which I think looks really cute. Quite simple, but I think it looks really good with the stones. Now here is some overview shots of the build. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Bye bye.